No, we are not doing Planet of the Apes joke again. That was last week. No, you were late and Andy messed a joke up, okay? We're not doing it again. Yes, I know I'm talking to a stuffed monkey. Yes, I know that is similar to talking to Andy, but that is a mean thing to say. Don't say it again. That's even worse. Do not say that either. We live. Don't know. We're not doing Planet of the Apes. You don't. What are you talking about? We're live. Okay. Run titles, please. You sit there and shut up.
Should I get the magic sponge? That's a keeper. Try that again. Oh man. Numpty. And that's a wrap.
A stuffed monkey. A stuffed monkey.
Well, you've got to admit, Andy, sometimes it is quite like that.
Yeah, talking to you.
Talking to you, that was the whole point of it, man.
Oh, you're dangerous eyes, young Timothy. Young Tim. Oh, I swear, oh, you cheat. It was a good sketch, actually. I was sat wondering what the hell you were doing with the stuffed monkey, and I'm like, and then I was shaking going on because I'm a little bit Mutt and Jeff at this particular moment. No jokes, chat. I could just see a line of what going up there in the chat. That was done, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. See, stuffed monkey.
Shut up. Rochambeau. Alright, let's get on with the show because we very hastily threw this one together, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in on the 3rd of December, the year of our Lord, 2014. It's that time of year again where I get the tinsel out. Batman thinks he's Santa Claus, and I got my Christmas tree up. Look there, this is over there somewhere. I can't really see. I think it's in that general area.
It is quite weird to be on a Wednesday, though, isn't it?
But, you know, I couldn't help it. I burst an eardrum. And it's still quite painful, actually. So,
yeah, all right. How you doing, man? You feeling all right?
I'm all right, getting better. The voice is still a bit croaky, but, you know, these things happen, and some people get worse. I mean, that said, I did actually have some really nice news this week, but I want to go into that in next week's show. So,
okay.
Bit of prior preparation there for you guys. Doesn't happen much on Drips and Tips, but we've actually got a story for next week. Talking of stories, what have we got, Davey? Go.
We've got a few things to talk about. Now, I think we should start with cig-a-likes versus egos. Let's revisit that.
Yeah.
Now, you work at Smoker's Angel.
Yes.
What do you find are the biggest sellers? Is it the cig-a-likes or is it the ego-style batteries? And are egos becoming more popular now?
Well, see, the thing is, it's a bit of a loaded question because we only sell cig-a-likes and egos, and something's just beeped. I think that might be my phone. I apologise if you can hear my phone, ladies and gentlemen. I can't find it. I'll sort it out in an ad break. We only sell cig-a-likes and ego kits, and the reason I wanted to talk about this is because it's that time of year. All right, we've got Christmas. I said it. I said the C word. I'm sorry, guys. Christmas is a coming. All right. And of course, those New Year's, which is a traditional time for all of us to give up a vice or bad habit or, you know, New Year's resolutions. And I was wondering to myself, because obviously I took the weekend off. We had the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday, and we also got a Victorian Fair, which sets up right outside my shop. Excuse me. I wondered what would sell the most throughout this month and throughout next month. Now, it's fairly common knowledge that egos are outstripping cig-a-likes. Now, for my birthday, I like to treat myself to one of these. You all know what it is. I don't need to mention what it is, but it is an alike because I like cigars. Even to this day, there's a guy who, when I have the back door open at the shop, he goes out and he smokes an Amlet. There are other cigars available for those who wish to kill themselves. But the smell, oh my days, I still miss them. So of course, you know, when it comes to a special occasion, I order myself a bunch of e-cigars. Now, what I like about these ones particularly is the longevity on them. They do. This has been going since Sunday, this one, and
yeah, I had one that lasted absolutely ages.
that's still producing pretty good. And believe it or not, that's 16 milligram in that. So, but anyway, so it sort of sprung to my mind what sold the most over the weekend. And it actually, now normally it's like, I was saying pre-show that we got the one regular who comes in. This is only my store, so I can't really speak for the rest of the chain. Who buys a pack of 5 cartos once a week. That's it. That's all I've ever sold, really, apart from maybe 1 or 2 kits. In 3 months, 4 months maybe. This weekend and today, yesterday and Monday when I went back to work, it's like every other sale. Now I'm going to wonder, is that going to change entirely come years? Or it's going to go stop roughly mid-month where people are going off to other places and buying other devices such as spinners, mechs, box mods, variable voltage, and all that sort of business, and you know.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I had it all day, every day, past couple of days. Oh, it's a present for my brother. It's a present for my sister, and that sort of thing.
Well, it's worth bringing Daz in on this if he can come in to see, because he's an independent vendor. What kind of view are you seeing, Daz?
Well, I don't sell cig-a-likes. However, it's unfair for me really to kind of do a comparison because of the fact that I don't sell them. I mean, I've had less than a handful of people in the time that the shop's been open who do use cig-a-likes. More people come in as a new starter looking, so because I don't sell them, I suppose if I sold them, the option would be there, because to any established vapor or any vapor who's been using them even for a couple of months knows the setup. But to a brand new vapor, believe it or not, and I'm sure Andy will agree here, they find it really, really difficult to understand what a battery is, what a tank is, what a coil is, what a wick is.
How many times a day do you get, I need a new top?
Yeah. Or, do you sell pens?
I want a filter.
Yeah, can I have a filter, or can I have a top, or I need the bottom piece is broken, or, you know, they don't understand the same terminology. So,
well, to be honest, I mean, I was the same when I started. I think we all were.
Yeah, and I think from a cig-a-like point of view, to many is a lot easier for them to understand because effectively it's 2 bits. Your cartridge, which has got your atomizer in, and it's got your liquid in pre-filled, and your battery, and in some cases, yeah, exactly what Davey's holding up there.
Just like that.
Yeah, it's an all-in-one piece, which is easy for them to understand, and even if they've had it for a week, they're going to have a much better knowledge with a cig-a-like to know and understand what a Gen 2 device is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I see so many times like people who are coming on in Facebook and things like that, and they're like, been vaping for a month. At the minute, I'm using like an Ego 650, and what should I use next? And I'm seeing people like, oh, you want this big massive dripper and a hammer mod and this, and it's like, no, understand your concept first. Understand how it works. Get the feeling of it, get comfortable with it before you decide to move on. I mean, I started off, me personally, with Smoker's Angel, and I don't even know if they do it now, but it was, I forget what it was called. It was called a super tank, I think. No, super tank, and it was looked like a cig-a-like, but it was black with a blue end, with a manual button, with a metal. Do you remember the old metal atomizers that you screwed on in the little plastic tank that you filled up with the liquid and you punched it into the atomizer? That was my first setup that I had.
That's going back quite a while now.
Yeah, it's going back a while, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first setup that I ever had, and it took me a little bit of time to understand that before I moved on to an Ego.
Well, I'd moved through the ranks myself fairly quickly. I had my first mechanical probably about 3-4 months into my journey, I think, if memory serves, and I blew it up because I did human stupid. So I went on to a regulated 3rd gen. But the difference between obviously you and myself as a retailer is we don't do 3rd gen, and we most likely never will, despite the fact that I am begging them almost left, right, and centre to have a few little bits to this, a few little bits to that. But it's funny you should say people are going, oh, you don't want that, you need to get on something like this and, you know, blow dirty, great big clouds. A lot of people ask me what I'm using, and I'm like, ignore it.
Yeah. I mean,
just know that I'm doing the same thing as you, just in a different manner. Ignore my stuff.
And that's the same kind of thing that we need to be doing on the forums and things as well, when new people come along. That's what helped me, because people were saying, oh, you need to get this, you need to get that. And I was saying, well, what the hell are you talking about? Because I didn't know what they were going on about. And then someone would come along and say, no, forget that. Get yourself an Ego, get yourself a CE4, and do that first, and then learn. Speak to us. We'll help you out when you're ready to move on. And that's the way to do it. That's what everyone should be doing.
I wanted to say as well, Andy pointed something out as well, which he said about the difference between me and the shop he's working at, because we sell Gen 3. And to be honest, yes, we do, but the ratio of what we sell Gen 3 is very, very small as opposed to Gen 2. We sell a lot more Gen 2. I mean, you get a very niche who will go for a Gen 3, like at the minute, like the likes of these are.
We've mentioned that before, haven't we? Gen 3 is niche.
It is. It
Gen
is.
2, was it Dave Dawn said a little while back, you're going to find like something like 60, 70, 80% of all vapors will pretty much settle on that middle ground.
This is why, and another thing that I wanted to point out, which as well, like in with the Gen 1 and Gen 2, which is why I'll always say, even though I never use them personally, but I've got them, is never does a clear miser, never does a CE4, because the CE4 is, believe it or not, you think that everybody is using like the bigger stuff, then they're not, because the majority of the public that you see go around with the CE4. The general public want as minimal faff and force as they can get away with, and it's something that I only learned working in the shop. They do not want to make coils, they do not want to mix juice, they just want something that works, that's not going to leak, that just does exactly what it needs to do. And that's why I say never does a CE4, because 90% of the people who vape, who aren't watching vapor trails and the like, are the ones that are using them.
I would never diss a CE4 anyway, because I still think it's... I've got one here, it still works absolutely fine. And it's great for carrying around, and you can, you know...
The CE4
stealth vape it quite easily. Yeah, they're great little devices. I would never diss them.
But I mean, we've got all sorts of comments coming in here, and I'm not going to go into super detail with them, but I want to sort of bridge them over. We have one bringing up some sort of percentage of cig-a-like users, and it was sort of mentioned that it was probably old news, because they are dying a bit of a death, I think, within. And I agree with Sav on this point. Cig-a-like, and in my case, cigar-like, it's always going to have a place because of familiarity.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Right. I generally tend to sell my cig-a-like kits to the much older generation.
Yeah.
People who, I mean, Daz, you just totally related this to everybody. I'm going to relate it out again. The fact that we find CE4s and egos like gone, bam, right? People learning, new starters, the look of confusion, despite the fact I was simplified explaining how to use them. Look confusion going on, like you can almost hear them lining up the words. I'll stick to the real thing. It's easier. You can almost see them lining those words up. With the case of cig-a-likes, it's simpler again. So I think they're always going to have a place.
Yeah, I was going to say, I pointed out a comment, and I'm going to have to read it out as well. I mean, I can't say specifically for the shop, but this is what I am going to say. Leanna Lawless has put, local B&M shops stop selling cig-a-likes because nobody bought them. The thing being is, if you are not, you need the fit to what the customer wants. You need to fit what the customer is comfortable with. So if a customer cannot grasp a piece of kit, then that piece of kit's no good for them. They've got to have something that they are comfortable with. It's really, really important. It's not a case of just stocking something for the sake of stocking it. It's a case of stocking it for the purpose of what the customer wants. It's really important. No vapor is the same, and I tell every customer that as well. No vapor is exactly the same. Every vapor is different. The specs might be the same, but they could have a different ohm coil, a different liquid, whatever. Every single customer is different, and it's really important that, you know, it's established that like any good vendor out there will have a range to suit for the customer's needs, because every customer is different.
Can I just jump in? Sorry, I know I'm meant to be producing and stuff.
We'll have them all on in a minute. Anybody else want to jump in?
Hello, everybody.
Come on, Kat. Come on in.
Come on, Kat. Dave, DK.
The thing is, this is a subject that, I mean, everyone you talk to is going to have a different story, but I've got two friends roughly the same age as me who were quite happy smoking, and for the sake of, I think it was more sort of watching me and the people around me using them, they were like, okay. Seeing the 10 motives as they were wandering around the local supermarket, and he bought one, she bought one, and they used them every day for a year. Happy as Larry. He decided he wanted to move on to something else, and he went, just because he's curious, and he went out and bought an ego, and I mean, he's not the type of guy that's interested in building stuff or anything. He went, bought an ego and a CE4 and a bottle of juice, and he said to his wife, do you want one? She went, no, I'm quite happy on my 10 motives. And it's been 2 years now. She's still happy on her 10 motives, still using them every single day. He's happy on his ego, buys a bottle of juice a week. He doesn't buy the coils for the cartomizer. He's not interested in that. He just buys a new cartomizer when he needs one. Doesn't want to get in any of the fuss, and it's worked for them. And I can sit here with all my fancy gear and say, try that, and he'll go, oh yes, very good. And I go, you can get it from here. All right, not interested. Not interested.
And of course, when you mention some of the prices as well, the topper end, even the clone stuff, people are like, £25 for a drip tip. I'll stick with my CE for $3.99.
Well, that's another point, isn't it, as well, when you come down to the cost thing, with traditional cigarettes and cigars and things like that, it does cost a lot. And when you get into vaping and you go into the high-end stuff, the expense, it kind of takes away the saving that people claim that you make from smoking.
I think people forget it. I think people honestly forget that when they've been vaping for a while, and then they'll start shopping around and saying, oh, well, that's quite expensive. But they forget about weighing it up against the cost of cigs. So if you buy a mod and say that mod's 70 quid, depending on how much you smoked, what was that in cigs? And how long's that mod going to last?
Exactly. I mean, I always call my third gen stuff an investment to myself. You know, this is an investment. This thing, I adore it. And unfortunately, it's going to get shelved soon because I've played with the 40 today and blows this 30 out of the water. But that will also be an investment because if I do fall on hard times, I can sell this. Right, at cut rate, but I'll make a few bucks off it. At the same time, I'm investing in my future because these devices stop me from smoking. And because I stopped smoking and spent so long on the Gen 2 and the Gen 1 stuff, I saved enough money to pay for this stuff.
Very true.
Right. Frankly, I'm in a very blessed position. Juice, if I ask nicely, I can usually grab a bottle or two off the shelf at work. Right? Not always. I don't use it a lot because I like a thicker VG juice. Simple as that. But in other aspects as well, I know people who own stores all over the Midlands. So generally, I do get it a little bit cheaper. That's a bit of a cheeky sort of cop-out, but I've made friends with these people. They're good friends. For example, I went over to Cheltenham on Saturday to see my mum, and I popped into my mate's shop, and I was given this particular bottle of American juice, which is relatively expensive, as a birthday gift. You know, so these savings will crop up somewhere, dependent on how you conduct yourself throughout the community. But then you've got to get into the community. I find this is another split that I've noticed as well. The guys that come into my shop aren't interested in joining the community that we have. They just want to stop smoking. Yeah, it's just a cease to the pain of smoking.
Well, that's a good point, actually, and we can come into that, talk about the community, because it does seem to be a kind of specialist thing, doesn't it?
Just like
and if you get, stuff is. Yeah, if you get into the community, then you're going back to, like we said before, with people commenting, saying, right, you need a dripper and you need to make this coil and make that coil. And a lot of people just aren't interested in that.
True, but then when you're getting into the community and you join groups like mine, say, or forums and whatnot, you just need responsible people to say, let them discover it for themselves. As Sav just said there, she's got her mates who's happy with the ego, happy with their 10 motives.
Yeah.
To be frank, when I went to go out Saturday night, I bought 2 devices out of me. One of them and a 10 motives. That's all I had on me all night. And a hip flask full of rum, which was a mistake. But anyway, drink responsibly, kids.
It's never a mistake.
It is the next morning when you got birthday, I'll tell you that. But it sort of defies the point. Retail speaking, I'm going to be really interested in seeing what sells the most, because I'm talking to a couple of stores that sell 3rd gen local. Obviously, my store sells 1st gen and 2nd gen. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how sales-wise, and I think, Darren, me and you should talk fairly regularly now about this as well, because I'd like to revisit this at the end of January and see what the general consensus was.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if my mate's store up the road, who is exclusively 3rd gen and sort of 2.5 gen, if you know, like MVPs and that sort of thing, who's going to sell the most? Who's going to do the best out of us? Just purely academic, because I want to know. I just want to know. I think it's an interesting sort of subject.
Yeah, definitely.
With that, we'll stick a pin in it, and we'll talk about the community a bit in the next section, then go on to something that, frankly, is the best propaganda I've seen since Nazi Germany, frankly. So let's take them out.
Tech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapers, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
And we're back.
We are. I just want to quickly pop back to the sales thing. I'd be interested to hear from you and Daz what happens up to New Year and after New Year because of all the rest.
That's exactly what I meant by revisiting this at the end of January.
Yeah, it's already something that I've thought of, to be honest, because I was kind of trying to work out my stock coming up to Christmas and wondering if the people will want to do.
But what do you guys actually think will happen? Because I think people are switching more. Well, we know people are switching more to e-cigarettes than NRT.
I think because I'm not going to be open New Year's Day, and everybody, I had a customer come in the shop earlier this week who said you should be open Christmas Day, and I went, I don't think I should. And I says because I think personally anybody who's thinking of making the switch will want to have the kit prior to the day.
Yeah, definitely. I
Rather than
want to see a large volume of sale just before the dates in question. So
yes.
A large volume coming out of, say, Gen 2, Gen 1 before Christmas Day, and then that in that little bit in between before New Year's Day,
yeah,
we'll see either a massive blip or meh.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I'm expecting anyway. That's my prediction.
That's
And
exactly what I'm thinking.
First Monday back, we can have you on the show. We can do a sort of like preliminary, sort of just after New Year's, sort of chat about it, and then at the end of January, do a special on it.
Yeah, exactly. Good idea.
You know, I think it'd be really, really interesting from an academic point of view, just to see. I mean, as I mentioned, we have a Victorian fair which happens around. Literally, the shop is on a corner, right, and that one street that goes down this side, and all up here, and all up onto the main drag of Worcester. It is covered in Victorian-themed stalls of some description. There's mulled wine and cider everywhere. Oh, it's so easy to get drunk in 10 metres. So cheap and simple.
That's great. That mulled wine, cider, electronic cigarette. Yeah.
Big, huge Bratwurst sausages. It's just like, I've got everything I need in one corner.
It is like the perfect night out, isn't it?
Good.
It is. No, seriously. If next year, if all you guys can come down for the Worcester medieval Victorian Fair, you should, because it's just wicked. It is absolutely brilliant, and we can share my birthday together. Yay! Yeah, you know, I sat and I thought about this in the run-up, and I was in discussions with my boss Jimmy, who I think should do that juice box advert. I think you should do the voiceover on that. It'd be brilliant. I don't know why, just in his Welsh accent. It'd be, do you like discovering new juices? Oh, Jimmy in Welsh. He's brilliant. I love him to bits. we were talking quite a lot, and I just thought we better get a load of stuff in because this part of the city is gonna be rammed 20 deep, and it was, and we took record sales. Record sales. We do all right, you know, not amazingly, but we do all right. But that weekend, it was. I feel really bad that I was ill and had to take time off because they were rammed, absolutely rammed. They struggled to keep themselves.
Do you guys, when you get new people coming in and they are asking you about the different types of e-cigs and all that, do you talk about the community at all? Do you tell them that there are forums and there are groups on Facebook and stuff?
If it arises.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of information that you're giving them at the beginning anyway. Like, when they walk out, you want them to obviously feel confident. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'll say to them, well, I always say to them, look, let me set it up for you, show you how it works and everything so you're comfortable, so that when they walk out the shop, they're happy. So to start telling them about the forums and everything is an overload of information, because every customer that walks out, I think, I don't know if Andy's the same, but I think, is that customer 100% confident, or they're going to come back to me within 24 hours and say the battery won't charge? Or
when I first started, I tried to give my knowledge, my entire knowledge in a nutshell, and I saw very, very quickly within a matter of days that it was not working. So I streamlined now to just this is the charger, use it with this battery only, this is the atomizer, this is how it feels, this is how it will attach it, this is how it's going to charge it, this is how it's going to last you on my 20-a-day average estimate. So all the information that they need at that particular moment in time is there in a 5 or 6 minute chat. They go out much more confident, much more happier, much more at ease with that they've done a drastic change to their life, a very big change in their lives, and then they'll keep coming back happy, and then eventually the subject matter will rise. When we started, Davey, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We didn't have the benefit of people like us.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, I had to wade through a sea of caca to get to shore, and then I discovered you guys, and then would start to increase. All I knew was e-lights at the time, which were frankly shocking. And you know, now it's so much easier to get that information because of all the work that guys like ourselves and the community have laid down. But for the vast majority of e-cigarette users that come into my store, at least, and Smokers Angel, by and large, will walk out completely blissfully unaware of the community.
Well, this is it though, because I mean, like you said there, Andy, we've been on pretty much the same journey, and that's how we got to know each other, because we were doing the same thing. Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing, so we worked it out together, and we kind of understood everything then. So shouldn't it be the vendors now, because there are so many more bricks and mortar stores? Should the vendors be doing more to encourage people to get into the community and to get the knowledge?
By the way, Dave. Beautiful segue.
Knew you'd like it. Knew you'd like it.
Love it. Go on, mate. We'll carry on with that after. We'll nail this one with this one and go into it. So carry on.
No, go on. Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, I feel responsible as a vendor for that person's journey. This is why I love my job, because I see people at the very start of it.
Yeah.
And seeing that little spark of excitement that I had that faded oh so long ago, that only reignites when I've got a new toy, like my new Tugboat 2, by the way. Thank you for that. You know, that little spark of excitement, I don't need to tell them about the community. I just need to keep them going and provide what they need. If that's a bottle of strawberry flavoured e-liquid, then it's a bottle of strawberry flavoured e-liquid. Or if they come in and say, I need some more oils, please, biting my tongue and going, yeah, certainly. What would you like and what strength?
It's, I mean, as well, even though if it's not about the community, what I am finding as well is that the customer's not completely clueless. So if they've been on E6 for a couple of weeks, they've started coming in and they'll say things like, the government's really got a hand in on this, haven't they?
Oh, yes.
And so they are picking up things, you know, they
Yeah.
are paying attention to what the
Well-
media is saying.
This is my point, is that vendors should be maybe encouraging people to get involved in the community so they are aware of what is going on.
Well, you've got a fair few comments actually on that. When I said most of the customers that we have, by and large, will be blissfully unaware of the community, Ridian has said most customers will be blissfully unaware of the politics too. That's a very important thing. If you do get a customer coming into your stores, retailers, don't hit them with that. And that was a case of, I explained it real simply, government's trying to take this away from you. That's a petition to stop it. You know, the address will be the shop, we've got to do is name, nationality, date of birth, and that seemed to work. Politics is a real sticky thing. That's for us to deal with, I think, not the new starters at all. Let them enjoy their time vaping.
Yeah.
That's about it. DJ Reptile UK says, I would say 90% of customers aren't even interested in the community. He's sorry to say. You're probably right. But does it matter? We're still together, and if they decide to join us, brilliant. If they don't want to, or even still remain unaware of it, that's life, man. We made a conscious choice. These people are making a conscious choice. We shouldn't try to influence them. I think that's a great point, but one of which doesn't really need much sort of attention into getting the people into the community, or forcing them, as it were. I get enough people after about 4 weeks coming in going, "Oh, I found this wicked lovely little Facebook group. It's brilliant. It's set around here." I said, "Yeah, it's probably mine. Which one is it?" Just Vapes. "Yeah, I run that one." "Oh, do you?" "Yeah, conversation, community member." And it's all evolved naturally. Moonlit. Let's see what you said there, fella. I think vendors are actually in the position to take over the role that the forum served for a lot of us. They no longer need to do what we had to go through. They have a point of contact which doesn't require scouring the internet for relevant and useful info.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Deep.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Excellent. Shall we pin that one right there then to the wall and talk about the good doctor and vendors?
Yes. This is Dr. Farsalinos and his crowdfunding, I believe. Do we have the link for that? If someone
We
could
do.
pop that
At
into
the
chat.
top here.
But the point that we need to make here is that something that Dr. Farsalinos has himself said, that it shouldn't be vapors who are funding this. The vendors should be getting involved. And Andy, what are your thoughts on that? Because I strongly agree with that.
Oh yeah, my boss has chipped in.
Yeah, I
We
couldn't
do
agree
a lot
more
of-
on that.
Yeah.
Again, I'm
We do a
jumping
lot.
in.
It's fine, Saf. Carry on.
But, I mean, we all know the really good work that Dr. Farsalinos has done for the community, and this
Exactly.
is a very, very important thing, especially with the way that the technology is going at the minute. And there are 4 days left of his crowdfunding, and is 57% of the way there. He's got nearly $41,000 of a target of 72. And yeah, by all means, if it's something you feel passionate about, donate to it, but it should be vendors that are getting behind this. It's their livelihood.
Exactly.
I don't pay for the testing of my car. I just buy it, and it's been tested, it's safe. The companies involved in the making of these products and things are involved in that side of it, not the end user, and it shouldn't be any different for us, because it falls on, as we've just established, a very small community. I wouldn't dream of saying to the friends I was telling you about before, "Oh, by the way, will you help pay for testing of the product that you're using?"
The other thing we've got to think about within the community as well, I'm gainfully employed. Davey, through no fault of his own, isn't. I can probably happily donate £100 if I had the time to, and it's not being Christmas. Let's look at the timing of this right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've all got families. Christmas is only just around the corner. I can see it. it's just there going big Christmassy stuff. I've got to get a turkey in, I've got to get my mum over, I've got to get dogs looked after, I've got to get all the bloody Christmas presents. I spent a bunch of money today on Christmas decorations, so Annie's got something sparkly to look at and lots of paper to tear up, and my dogs are going to love it, right? That all costs money.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, and I feel really horrible for saying this, I just haven't got the pennies to throw.
No, I mean, as you say,
You're right.
it's that time of year. It's the most expensive time of the year. You've got a young family. Davey's got a young family. People have got bills to pay, mortgages to cover, and things like that. And they shouldn't then feel that they have to fund studies for things like this. Manufacturers should be behind this.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that there's been so many crowdfunding things that we've had to, we haven't had to, but we have got involved with.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's always another one and another one, another one. You get to the point where you think, well,
I can't
do it again.
Yeah.
Going back to that point of us lot paying for presents. Now, I'm obviously going to buy my vaping friends vaping goodies. And every single one of us is going to be doing that in a roundabout way. So all this money we're spending, at least part of it's going to go to a vendor. And as I said, I hope my boss has contributed that £500 tax refundable. Vendors, if you pay Sav, you take this one, you know more about this.
Right, I mean, it says here, I'm not 100% sure on the laws in the UK, but it says here, for a $500 donation, you will receive an official invoice which states that it's research services for e-cigarettes. So, as far as I'm aware, that will mean that you can claim it on your tax returns of some description. So, use it. And, I mean, all the information is there on the website, and Dr. Faustino says, if you've got any questions, please, by all means, contact him. He will answer any questions that are there. And every vendor that can do this, I mean, I don't expect the little guy on the street to donate all his profits to it, because he's got bills to pay as well. But there are big vendors out there. This is their livelihood. There are manufacturers out there that will go out of business.
Chains like
this is it. Some of these companies are worth millions. Surely they can help fund this.
Mm-hmm.
In something we're going to go into in the next section very shortly, apparently the industry is worth £350 million.
Well, there you go. So vendors, big vendors, get out there and help Dr. Farsalinos. You've got 4 days left. Help him out. Let's get this research funded.
Come
and
on,
on that note, let's go to the ads.
Yes.
LP Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of Vaping Entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
RY4 Radio.
and gentlemen, I was introduced to, this is a very last minute sort of decision, and I would like us to come back to this, but I just want to pop this one out there. I was essentially handed a document. This is hot, fresh news, by the way, boys and girls. Now, there's a link that we've got. I'm presuming some of you can share that for us in the chat. This disturbs me. Now, Davey, have you had a look through this yet?
I haven't managed to have a proper look through it. I've had a quick once over, and it is just unbelievable from what I've seen.
It is horrifying. Now, the only thing I can compare this to is World War II propaganda posters.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it is that sort of thing. Let's have a look at it, right? It's called "What Are the Facts on E-Cigarettes?" 16 to 17-year-olds ask the experts to explain the details. And you're going to laugh at who the experts are, by the way, because there's not anybody like us involved in this. And funnily enough, there's a little crown and a gate at the bottom which says an all-party parliamentary group on primary care and public health report in November 2014.
What a surprise.
You should be terrified, folks, by this. This report covers who smokes, why vape. Give them one on that one. They got that right. An education minefield. Advertising the glamour. A gateway to tobacco use. Access, availability and quality. Guess who gets mentioned in that one? The role of parents. Excellent little quotes in that one. And the CAP new rules on e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes. Now, give us the facts on e-cigarettes. 16 and 17-year-olds urge experts. Since the first electronic cigarettes arrived in the UK in 2007, their use has been growing fast. 2.1 million people, I'm sure it's more than that, now use them, up from 700,000 2 years ago. And those numbers of vapers are expected to reach 3.5 million within the next 5 years. They probably already are. The UK sales of e-cigarettes, also known as vaporizers or electronic nicotine delivery systems, which, by the way, is a government term, not one we coined. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, we chose penis, didn't we?
Yes, penis. Or something I watched last night after Dave Dawn. I'm chatting with Dave Dawn in the Skype chat that we have. I am never going to look at that phrase ever the same way again, because it was just mental. You know, it's forecast to soar from close to 100 million to currently to 350 million by the end of 2015. It's probably already there. All this research suggests that e-cigarettes, which do not contain tobacco, Jesus Christ, I've got something. Ooh, ow! Ah! Oh, Davey, take it a sec.
You're right, man.
No, my ear's just gone.
All right, okay. I want to talk about, because I haven't read this properly, so I can't really totally go into that. So I want to talk about the gateway to tobacco thing.
All right, mate, I'm back.
All right, okay. You're right, man.
Yeah, it's just like
you sure?
touched the mic shroud and it popped in my ear and it kind of hurt a little bit. Ow. Right, where was I? E-cigarettes do not contain tobacco are significantly safer as well as a good deal cheaper. Correct? Correct. Than conventional cigarettes, however, given the short time they've been available, hard evidence for their safety is lacking. Let that one sink in. And are currently sold as consumer products. True, that's exactly what we want. They're recreational products. I do not make any medicinal claims when I'm selling an e-cigarette to somebody. And, well, we'll get to the rest of it in a minute. In fact, right now, sell as consumer products without age restrictions. Amount of chancing kids I get every day. You're 18, mate. Yes, I'm 18. Don't look a day over 12. Get out.
Yeah.
Whilst I know, legally speaking, there is no age limit on e-cigarettes.
Well, legally speaking, there isn't, but, you know,
responsible retailers.
Yeah. We've generally all agreed that anyone under 18 should not be using these.
Well, it says on almost every e-liquid I've got here, adult use only.
Yeah.
Right, which implies nothing less than 18. It goes on. New publication of rules and advertising e-cigarettes, blah, 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 to minimise their appeal to young people. Young people are going to rebel. They're going to want to try things. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. There's nothing you can do about it, government. There's nothing we can do about it as parents. They're going to do it. Hopefully they're smart about doing it. And it goes on to who smokes. Only 1 in 7 students revealed to the round table meeting. 1 in 7 of those kids at that particular revealed that they smoke every day. Oh, sorry, no, I misread that. Only 1 of the 7 students. There was only 7 of them there, apparently.
Yeah.
And she added, it's a bad habit. Another reported that she smokes socially. 2 of the boys said they tried smoking but didn't like it, and it's too expensive. Both boys have also tried shisha and didn't like that either. Apparently it's a form of smoking fruit, which I believe is vaguely correct. While the other one pointed out the flavourings in shisha contain nicotine and didn't want to get addicted. Smart kid. Smart.
Yeah, fair enough.
3 of the other students said they never tried blah, 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 and it goes on and on and on. Why vape? The concern over health risks prompting many young people to try electronic e-cigarettes instead. A survey published by Action on Smoking and Health, ASH, in September found that only 1.8% of children aged 11 to 18 are vaping regularly. 1.8% of children, I'm presuming it's going to be a small section of society, and that 90% of those who do regular are already smokers or ex-smokers. Excuse me. I'm presuming that's a cutout of society if this is a truthful paper. Now let's get to the bit where it makes me think that this isn't the truthful paper. This is my own opinion and does not necessarily reflect the opinions or that of VTTV. This is my own opinion on this now. Social vaping. I have never heard that term before.
That's a new one on me.
Today, like the moment I read this was the first time I read that ever. I'm fairly certain that's made up because I've been involved in this community for a while and the whole thing is a social experience, but it's not something that I would say, you know, oh, I only vape socially when I'm going out for a couple of pints. That's made up.
Yeah. That doesn't happen.
Exactly. A close friend who was urged not to smoke now uses e-cigarettes because you can use them anywhere. Not true. You can't use them just anywhere. A lot of places are imposing bans. Public transport, Weatherspoons of all places, and various other pubs and establishments. A pub I used to be able to vape in very freely, no matter what I was using, now only allows cig-a-likes and disposables to be used in there, because they're non-impacting on everybody else's experience in the pub.
Well, no, there's a point there as well I want to make. As I've said before, there's 2 pubs in the village where I live. One of them allows vaping, one of them doesn't. Which is the busier?
By the way, Davey. The one that allows vaping, I should imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, blah, 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 because you can use them anyway, and that's something that needs to change. It's already changed. The lower cost of motivation? Yes. And the risk of developing a proper addiction? Responded the only daily smoker amongst the students. Daily smoker worried about developing a proper addiction.
Yeah.
Education minefield. The ASH survey reveals that young people generally have all the latest information about e-cigarettes. Well, you clearly don't. Most understand that they contain nicotine and that they are less dangerous and less addictive for use. But hang on, let's crack back up a second. All right, these kids know and understand that there's nicotine in them, blah, 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 and that they're less dangerous and less addictive. Is the lower cost of motivation? Yes, the risk of developing and the risk of developing a proper addiction. Okay.
Indeed.
Here is one of my favourite parts. We know the dangers of tobacco, so we know how to deal with this in the classroom. Was acceptable in a 6th form, but we don't know how to deal with e-cigarettes, said Stuart French, Director of the Technical Theatre Arts at the Brit School. Okay, theatre arts. Every kid in there smokes. I was a theatre arts student. I smoked like a trooper. These are legal consumer products. We need to come under some formal controls, including curbs to prevent advertising which seeks to glamorise them, and claims made on benefits which cannot be proven. Age restrictions. You've just mentioned all that before. Repeating yourself. Here's some quotes. Is this the one I found earlier that really made me think? No, that's not it. Advertising the glamour. So Kevin asked them, what perceptions do you have of e-cigarettes? Advertising posters present them as glamorous, cool, sexy, something everybody should be doing as a good thing. One smoker in the group said, if e-cigarettes are found not to do the harm that cigarettes can do, then yes, they can be glamorized. They haven't been around long enough for us to know the long-term effects. Well, have we heard that before, Mr. Malik?
We hear it all the time.
Another personal favourite of mine. You're going to love this one. Anybody who knows anything about cannabis will probably get this one as well. So given one of those, they're dangerous that people who use e-cigarettes will often then move on to tobacco. Hasn't that actually just been... Is it the Office of National Statistics? So there's a gateway effect, just isn't there?
Yeah, but I'm going to cover this on a later show because there's some...
Okay.
I've been talking to you about this before, and it was a long time ago. But the gateway to tobacco from tobacco. But yeah, if the link to the to this document, if we can get that into chat,
yeah,
if it hasn't already been put in.
It's a long read, but it's worth it. This is my favourite part
yeah.
on the gateway, right? And he pointed out the e-juice, the liquid mixture containing nicotine, flavourings, and dilutants that are vaporised by the e-cigarettes, flavoured with tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, can be put into e-cigarettes. THC is not a flavour, mate. It's a psychoactive drug.
Oh.
And that sentence just doesn't make sense anyway.
No. But
okay, that's me.
Obviously, I urge everyone to have a look at this document. And on that note, Andy, do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Okay. Very quickly. Somewhere in here, we see that very famous phrase from Jeremy Mean. We just don't know what's in them, said by a student. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been a Fury, better known as Andy Abrick to all y'all. Thank you very much for tuning in. Should we do a roundup? Who have we got tomorrow? It's
It's the Haze Hour.
The Haze Hour.
With Brandon. Sorry.
Oh, for God's sake, so don't be a bone.
We said it was okay, but occasionally.
Sorry.
Jesus, woman.
I get carried away.
Yay, Brandon!
Oh, God. Come on, we're running over.
Oh, Matt, you
on the borough.
Brandon, so we have to wrap it up and then you can go.
Oh, Brandon, I'll see you next time.
He's ruining your tax codes.
I didn't do it, honest, I didn't.
I don't even talk about it.
You just can't get this stuff nowadays.
Shut up, yo.